Myself Meenakshi Sharma from Panipat. Today's our topic is Morphology of Plant. Morphology means to study the external features of the plant, which comprises root, stem, leaf, fruit, bud. But we discuss about the morphology of leaf. It's given in second unit and first chapter. So the first part is, what is leaf and what are its function? Leaf is the lateral outgrowth of the stem, developed exogenously at the node. The meaning of exogenously is, exogenous word arises from the word exit, means outside. Next, originate from shoot apical meristem. So these two questions, they are important. From where they are originate and how they develop. So they develop exogenously and originate from shoot apical meristem. Arrange in acropetal order. The acropetal order means older leaves are towards the base and younger one towards the apex. Regarding with the functions, as you are familiar also, the leaf, they carry out the most important function, that is photosynthesis, prepare their food with the help of sunlight. The another functions they perform, transpiration, that helps in not only providing cooling but also help in absorption of water. So now, question raised, what are the parts of leaf? Parts of leaf comprises, number 1, leaf base, also known as hypopodium. Part of the leaf attached to stem. That part is called leaf base. Leaf base is modified in some plants, like in monocot, leaf base shows sheathing. When leaf base becomes swollen, it is known as pulvinous in case of legumes. The second part of the leaf is called petiole, also known as Mesopodium. It's a stalk-like structure that connect lamina with stem. The function of petiole is hold the blade to light so that the leaf get proper sunlight, allow leaf blade to flutter in wind and cools the leaf. The third part is lamina, also known as epipodium. It is broad, main and green part of the leaf. It performs the function of photosynthesis and transpiration. The other parts of the leaf shown in this diagram is the middle line known as midrib and the network known as veins and venules. Another one is the apex part, that is known as tip, and axil. Axil is the angle formed between the main stem and the petiole from where they arise. After the parts of the leaf, now we come to the stipules. So what are stipules? Stipules are the two lateral appendages on the either side of the base. So the leaf which comprises stipule, they are called stipulate leaf, and the leaf without stipule is known as exstipulate. So the X-stipulate, example of X-stipulate leaf is very important. It's commonly found in families Solanaceae and Liliaceae. After that, after Lamina, we come to the arrangement of veins and veinlets, and this is called venation. On the basis of venation, we can easily distinguish out between the monocot and dicot. So, venation is of two types, parallel and reticulate. Parallel venation is usually found in monocot plants, and reticulate, the word indicates reti means network. So, reticulate venation is commonly found in dicot. So, all veins run parallel to each other and they do not form network. It's found in monocot, and that is parallel venation. Lateral veins divided into various branches and form net-like structure. It's found in reticulate venation. But some exceptions is also there. Exception over here is smilex. It's a monocot but shows reticulate venation, and same exceptions in reticulate also. It's a dicot but shows parallel venation. Example is of Calophyllum. Now look at the diagram. Banana leaf, it shows the parallel venation, and in case of peepal leaf, it shows the reticulate venation. So now the reticulate and parallel venations, they are further divided into on the basis of midrib, how they reach from the petiole to the apex. They are of two types, unicostate and multicostate. Uni means one, costate means rib. So one principal vein or midrib which proceeds towards margin and the apex of lamina and form a network. Example, mango, guava, peepal. You usually see these plants in your day-to-day life. And look at the diagram. Here, the midrib arises from tip to the base to the apex. Only single midrib is present. Now, in case of multicostate, multi means many. Many principal veins which proceeds towards margin and apex of lamina and form a network. They are of two types, divergent and convergent. In case of convergent, many principal veins arising from tip of the petiole converge towards the apex of the leaf. In case of divergent, many principal veins arising from tip of the petiole diverge from one another towards the margin of leaf blade. Now look at this diagram, and now you see. In case of convergent, many midribs ultimately they arise at the apex. In case of divergent, the many midribs, they are not reaching up to the apex, but they diverge from each other. Similarly, we find it in parallel venation also. Again, parallel venation, they also have two types, unicostate, multicostate. In unicostate, one principal vein which proceeds towards the margin and the apex of lamina in parallel manner, but they do not form veinlets. Example is of banana. Similarly, in multicostate, many principal veins arising from tip of the petiole and proceeding upwards. Again, they are of two types, convergent and divergent, but before that, look at the diagram of this banana leaf. You will see the single midrib arising from base to the tip, and they shows the parallel venation. Again, parallel venation is similar like that of reticulate. It's of two types, convergent and divergent. Many principal veins arising from tip of the petiole converge towards the apex of the leaf. Example, wheat and bamboo. Whereas in divergent, many principal veins arising from tip of the petiole diverge from one another towards the margin of leaflet. Example is of coconut and fan palm leaf. Now look at the diagram. In wheat leaf it is clearly visible that all the veins, all the midribs, they converge, whereas in fan palm they diverge from each other. Now after venation, we come to the another part regarding with the leaf is modifications. So what do you mean by modifications? In spite of doing photosynthesis, some parts of the leaf they get modified into the different structures and they perform different functions. So it is called modification of leaf. So in our NCERT, some few examples are given regarding its modifications, and these are, the first one is leaf tendril. The function of tendril is that helps in climbing of the plant. Over here is whole leaf get modified into the leaf tendril. Example is of wild pea. Now look at the diagram of this tendril. Yes, this coiled part is the tendril part. Now the next part is leaf spine. Leaf spine, a leaf get modified into spine in case of the cactus. In case of cactus, look at this, the spiny part. Over here is a stem get modified into the leaf. But what about the leaf? Leaf they get modified into the spine and thus they help in reducing transpiration. Then is phyllote. Very important question and usually comes in our competitive exam. So phyllote, over here is a petiole is modified, commonly found in Australian acacia, and they perform the function of photosynthesis. Then is the leaflet tendrils. Again, tendril help in climbing. Leaflet get convert into tendril. Example is of garden pea. The first example is of the wild pea, and now this example is of garden pea. In wild pea, whole leaf get modified. Over here, the leaflet they get modified into the tendrils. The next one is phyllotaxy. Break this word and find its meaning. Taxy means arrangement. Phyllo means leaf. So the definition become arrangement of leaves on stem or branch. So on the basis of phyllotaxy, plants get it's of three types. Number one, alternate. Second, opposite, and third one is whorl. In case of alternate, single leaf arise at each node at alternate manner. Example, China rose, mustard, and sunflower. In case of opposite, a pair of leaves arise at each node and lie opposite to each other. Example is of guava, calotropis. Whorl means more than. If more than two leaves arise at each node and they form a whorl, example is of Alstonia. And now look at this diagram and find out. In case of alternate, now the one single leaf arise from each node, from this node, and another leaf arise from this node, making an angle of forming alternate angle. In case of opposite, a pair of leaves arise from opposite to each other. Next one is whorl. Many leaves they arise from the each node. So this is regarding with the arrangement. So up to here we have discussed. First one is leaf function. Second is its parts. The third one is modification of the leaf. The fourth one is venation. Fifth one is which part of the leaf get modified and perform other functions in spite of photosynthesis. And then we discussed about the phyllotaxy. And on the basis of arrangement, leaves are arranged into three types: alternate, opposite and whorl. Example of alternate is China rose, in case of opposite, Calotropis, and in case of the whorl, Alstonia. After arrangement, now leaves are of two types. On the basis of incision, on the basis of lamina, how we will divide the leaf into simple and compound leaf. In case of the simple, in simple leaf, lamina is entire or may be incised. Incised means cut to any depth, but not up to the midrib or petiole. Example, peepal, mango, radish. But in case of the compound leaf, leaf blade is incised up to the midrib or petiole and thus dividing it into the several parts. In case of the compound leaf, incision जो कट है वो midrib तक पहुंच जाता है और लीफ को छोटे छोटे leaflets के अंदर डिवाइड कर देता है. So compound leaves are of two types. On the basis of their incision, one is pinnate compound leaf and another is of palmate compound leaf. In case of pinnate, in this type of the leaf blade is incised up to the midrib, and now the midrib is called rachis. Example is of neem, acacia. In case of palmate, incision of leaf are directed from leaf margin to the apex of petiole and all leaflets are attached at common point. Over here rachis is absent. Example is of silk cotton. Now look at the diagram. First one is of pinnate compound leaf. Over here look at it, midrib is common, but now it is not called midrib, it is called rachis. In case of silk cotton, look at it, from one point many leaves there arise. Now the over here rachis is absent. After that, now let us start. Important questions regarding with it. Give an example of phyllote. Yes, so very important. It's of Australian acacia. Second one, swollen petiole is found in. Yes, it is known as pulvinus and it is found in legumes. Epipodium function is. Epipodium function is photosynthesis. Whorl phyllotaxy is found in Alstonia. Example of X-stipulate leaf. Yes, found in Solanaceae and Liliaceae. Thank you.